Hi, I'm Hannah Bush. I'm Janae Smith. And this is my auntie Lacey. She's my godmother, and we're gonna be interviewing her for our religion project.
Hi, and I'm Glyceria Villanueva, also known as Glaze.
Okay.
So, we're going to start asking you questions. So, our first question is Baptism is the spiritual birth in Jesus Christ. How did your life change before and after your baptism?
Oh, my life changed a lot. Or how did my life change before baptism or after baptism?
Both.
Actually, it's a very long story, but my life changed very much.
Through baptism, we become adopted sons and daughters of God the Father. Have you personally experienced the love of God in your life?
Definitely.
Okay. Um,
And if you would like me to elaborate? Okay. Well, let's start with baptism. I was baptized when I was an infant. But before I was baptized, I was very sickly. I was born in the Philippines, and I was born in a barrio in the Philippines. A barrio is a place wherein the whole community is so very far away from the town. It's very remote. And in 1957, when I was born, um, doctors are not available in most, especially in a barrio. So you have to call a doctor, and it would take a person to walk from my barrio to the town, and that would mean hours and hours, and then for that doctor to come, and that would mean hours and hours. And at that time, there was a disease called convulsion, when a child just get a very high fever, and I would always get that. My mom said that one time I had a really high fever, and the doctor said that I had no more pulse, and therefore I was already dead. And so my mom was crying. The whole barrio, all of her friends and aunts and uncles, and my dad was there. We did not have this modern stove. We had ashes in the coal and everything. And my mom was praying. She was praying. She was praying in Tagalog. And it's only now that I realize she must have been praying in tongues. But as she did that, all of a sudden, my dad got up, all of a sudden, and pulled a handkerchief and took the coal out of the stove and put it in a handkerchief. And my mom said at the side of her head, she could see my dad doing that, and he couldn't even pick up the coal because it was so hot. And all of a sudden, he came to me, and I was already dead. They were dressing me up. In the Philippines back then, they wouldn't put you in a funeral home. They'll dress you up right there to put you in a coffin. And all of a sudden, they were getting me ready, and my mom couldn't accept that I was dead, and my dad couldn't accept it either. And he rubbed that very hot coal wrapped in handkerchief all over my body. Meantime, the doctor had already left and confirmed that child is dead. Get ready, you guys. And my dad rubbed it all over my body, and all of a sudden I started crying, and I did all the things that a child would do without a diaper. Because back then we didn't have diapers. Huggies were not. But anyway, because of that, my mom accepted the infant baptism. She said, you needed to be baptized. And my aunts and uncles, they came. We didn't have any food. I mean, we didn't have that much money. So we just went to town. They said one day we decided, okay, I'm going to be baptized. I was baptized as an infant. And then I was confirmed when I was 5 years old. I did not know what was happening to me when I was baptized and when I was confirmed. But because of that story, Ever since then, I realized we need baptism and we need confirmation. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. That
Okay.
was very well elaborated.
Yeah, you can ask all of my brothers and sisters to confirm that experience, and it's a true experience.
Like Uncle Ricky De La Rosa.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Now
A
we
true
realize- I'm
experience.
so happy you're alive.
And there are so many other stories wherein I believe that God had saved me from so many things. It'll be more than 20 minutes.
So who are your godparents and why did you or your parents choose them?
My godparents were related to me. Unfortunately, they are no longer here on earth. Um, they were older than my mom and my aunt chose them to be my godparents. They and as I was growing, I remember when I was 7 years old, my godparents, my confirmation godparent, I have one confirmation godmother and godfather. I have for confirmation, I have a godmother and a godfather, and for baptism, I have a godmother and a godfather. So, but they were always with me. They were my uncles on my. Most of them were my uncles on my mother's side. My mother was the one. My mother's side was the one that I would say very Catholic and very religious. It was my mother who actually taught me how to do the rosary, who taught me, and it was my aunt who told me the prayer, Angel of God, my guardian, to whom God's love covers me. Ever this day, be at my side to light and guide, to rule and guide. Amen. And I love that prayer. I would say that prayer. My aunt, and my godmother at the same time, taught me that prayer in English. And I did not know how to say English. And I would just say it, not knowing what it meant. I would just say it. And it's only when I gotten older, when I was in high school, that I realized what it meant. I was already in high school. But even through that time, I felt as if God, with my guardian angel, was actually protecting me. There were so many other stories, again, that I really believe God had protected me. Yeah, all right.
I love that guardian angel.
Which sacrament of initiation do you feel has changed your life the most?
Which? Oh, I cannot say. Can I distinguish one from the other? Sure. I think baptism. Yeah. And Eucharist. Confirmation too.
So all of them?
Well, baptism.
All of them.
If I need to distinguish one, I think baptism and Eucharist. No, that's kind of hard. You got to put it together. It's like, it's a food.
Right.
Once you have it's all in there. It's all given. You can't say, no, I don't want that. No, it's all given. But baptism.
All right.
Yeah.
And are you happy to be a Christian?
That's not even a question. I was surprised.